Welcome to the English Mystic Podcast. I'm your host, English Mystic, Dragon Shaman, Spirit Whisperer, and Mr. Explorer of all things seen and unseen. You're tuning in to a very special series honouring the epic Dragon Thunder Summit 2025, a worldwide gathering of visionaries, dragon channels, energy workers and soul-shifting guides. The summit brought together 36 incredible speakers from across the world, each sharing their unique gifts, wisdom and connection with the dragon realms. In this podcast series, we're diving deep, one episode at a time, into the essence of each speaker, their transmission, their gifts, and all the healing and awakening and dragon connections they've brought forward. To explore more about each speaker or to access the full summit replays, visit www.dragonthunder2025.com. Now breathe deep, call in your dragons, and let's step through the portal together. Our next speaker is Fiona Robertson, a dragon channel and conscious business mentor. And she's going to share with us manifesting using dragon energy. She emphasizes the shift to a new human paradigm of feeling and embodying frequencies rather than focusing on thoughts and desires. She shares some personal stories on how she has worked with dragons to manifest practical outcomes in her life and business, and encourage us to trust our inner guidance and the physical sensations in our manifestation processes. So let's give a quick introduction to Fiona. Fiona Robertson, who's in France at the moment. So I am truly thrilled to welcome her because she's been out there talking about dragons for quite a while, and we've crossed paths quite a few times, and I always love her wisdom. It's beautiful. So she's a dragon channel, conscious business mentor. She brings powerful dragon vision readings and helps leaders align with the spirit of their business, which we all need some of that. It can't just be about dragons. You've got to have a business as well to bring in some of that spondulic, so it's always good to have that balance where you're in both worlds, which is beautiful. And as you can see, there's lots of eyes of dragons behind her, which she might talk about. And she's very good at activating people's magic and people's purpose. And there's no point just being magical if you haven't going to use it and you want to have a purpose to do it. So that's beautiful. So Fiona, welcome back to the summit. How are you?
Oh, thank you very much, Kevin. Yeah, I'm great. Thank you very much. I'm going to be talking today mainly from Serafina, because I was asking who wanted to come through. Serafina was one of the first dragons that I ever met, and she came through as an eye, so that's why I have my eyes around me of the dragons that I met subsequently. And their purpose is all about how you navigate your life or your business or your relationships or your love or your money, all the practical stuff that we have here on earth, in ways of magic. And all magic is the stuff that the ego mind cannot understand. But I want to tell you little stories, and I want to tell you how it works for me and my children and my clients. But first of all, I wanted to introduce you. So this is the eye of Serafina. She's a massive golden dragon. Now I say massive, she's the size of an aeroplane. Yet what's coming on for me right now is I'm going through the portal to meet all the white dragons, so purity. And it's just it's going to be another trip altogether. But so like we're just introducing you to the dragons of the manifesting. So you've got Serafina, then you've got Tara. She came to me on the beach one day when I'd finished doing a business reading, and she was sending a dog on the other side of the beach off like crazy. It slipped its lead and ran over to me, and I was like, I know exactly why you're here. And the owner was profusely apologising. I'm like, it's okay, I know why your dog's here. And then we have Raphael. Now he's a really wise, old, famous professor kind of energy dragon. They've all got different energies. They've all got a slightly different purpose to do with how you manifest and how you work. And the dragons say Don't talk to us in words. We've outgrown that as a humanity. Talk to us in frequency. So I help people to embody the frequency, and that's one of the things that Serafina wants to do with you today. Then we have Luna Ray. Oh, I can't get my finger because I've got this background here. There's Luna Ray. She's like a serpent dragon. She's got no wings, but she's very magical. All to do with your feelings. She introduces you how to feel safe in your feelings. Now, when the new names came through to me, I was like, oh, that's interesting. Didn't realise about what sovereignty was and how just prolific it is right now in our evolution as humanity, how we're all talking about sovereignty. Sovereign, here, this purple one, is adamant that you reconnect in with your soul, that you get into your intuition, that you understand what things feel like within you. So, for example, when Naomi was doing the light language, and when I'm speaking to you, and when anyone else is talking about dragons, it's igniting within you, and you will feel it inside your body. It is not what you're thinking inside your head, it is how you're feeling and experiencing the world on the inside. So the dragons say your inner world creates your outer world, and that's everything about what they want to teach to do with manifestation. Then we have Bloom, and she is cheeky, she is raucous, she's naughty. Think of the singer Pink or Lady Gaga, and she's there. She's just like, nope, fuck that. She's like, no, we're going to do this in a completely different way. We're not going to follow the rules. And she's very much about the energy is outdated that a lot of people are using. She wants you to be brave and go into a different energy. Then you've got down on the right hand side here, we've got ceremony, celebrate your life, be playful, go wild, jump without the safety net. And then we're going into Utopia, which is the last golden dragon, and she's as bright as the sunshine. And this is when you're lifted off the planet as you know it, and you're operating in a completely different way. So this is all about the soul's owner and operator's guide to your human, the new human in this, the new way of operating. So that's what Serafina wanted to come through today and talk to you about being a new human, how we manifest using dragon energy, how it's not that the dragons do it for you, it's that they teach you how to feel. They teach you how to embody the frequency that you want to be in when you say you want to manifest something. And they laugh often and they say, you know, humans are funny because when you want to manifest something, you go into the, well, I don't want this and I don't want that and I don't want it to be like this. And we start focusing on all the things that we don't want rather than stepping into the frequency of having the thing happen for us and really enjoying the trip. They are very, especially Bloom, she's very playful, she's very childlike. And this is what we want to introduce you today, is kind of like, how can you do things less seriously, less grown up, less adult? Children have got no problem with this whatsoever. My sons, they have connection with their soul, and they've had that since age 7. I did a totem animal journey for one of my sons, and his soul came through like a little elf like Jake, and then my other son had it. We're walking in the forest one day, and they now use that when they want to manifest something. They don't necessarily call it dragons or listen to things like that, but they understand about nature. They understand about how you put things out there in your creation, and you step into the energy and you celebrate that it's already here. And one of the stories that I'm being told to remind you, me to tell you, is that this last week I noticed on my dragon cards that Amazon had put them on stranded status, and I'm like, oh, what's going on there then? Stranded? That's a funny word. So, and then, you know, Fiona the human panics and she goes, oh my God, oh, what am I going to do? That's going to be so complicated because every time you ring Amazon, there's such a huge company and you've got to jump through all the hoops. So I was talking to someone and I was like, this has got to work. I don't know how to do this. Please show me how. I don't know how to do this. Please show me how. And the first person I spoke to just said, well, I'll investigate and I'll look at it. And I was holding on the line and I was holding on the line. And then I went, hang on a second. Well, dragons, they're your cards. So can't you just sort this out? What, you know, can't you get me unstranded and reactivate these cards so that they can be sold? So, and then this first supervisor went to get a second supervisor, and she said, so what's the problem? And I said, well, they're saying stranded. She goes, no, they're not. they're okay. And I went, well, hang on a second. She said, well, take a screenshot, which is everything you have to do on Amazon. So I took a screen. I went, oh no, they're not stranded. I'm like, so what happened? What did you do? How did you do that, so that I know next time that I can do it myself? She goes, well, I didn't do anything. I was just looking at it. And I was like, okay then. So I came off the call and I said, thank you very much to the dragons. And later on in the afternoon, I do a lot of yes and no, because we have to listen to our body. This is a barometer of what we're feeling. So we have to listen to it all the time. You know who you can trust. You know who you can love. You know what spam is coming through. And there's so much spam, isn't there, that's coming through either Facebook or email. You can be tricked into spending lots of extra money. There's just so much of it about. But if you feel it in your body, you'll know that it's false. You'll know that it's a lie. So that evening I was kind of saying, did you organise that? Was that magic? And I just got my yes sign. I was like, right. And I said, that's brilliant. They said, but they're always saying to me, it's nothing new, Fiona. We have to take this as normal. We have to take this as your everyday average normal. As the new human, we are invoking in the invisible world. We are bringing in things that we can't see, and we're using energy, and we're embodying that energy. So this is everything that she wants to be able to help you understand. And she said, I will speak because I'm the matriarch of this particular clan. So the first message that she said to me when she came through was, you don't know how powerful you are. And this was probably back in 2020. And if I think back to the last 3 years during the Dragon Summit, she brought me right in front of Kevin through someone else. And I was like, I didn't even know other people were talking about dragons. I didn't know. I thought I was alone in this. So you're brought to the right people. You're brought to the right place. But if I look back to how I was presenting the dragons 3 years ago, very different to how I'm presenting and thinking about them now. Every single time I read my dragons cards out, I'm like, wow, that is so on point from what I needed. And then the messages I'm getting back from people who also chose a card is like, I don't know how this does it. It answers all my questions. It highlights the gaps between where I am now and then where the spirit world needs to take you, where your soul needs to take you. So this is how it's always working, and we are evolving. When I first spoke to Serafina, I would say, what is it that I'm here to do? What is it that you want from me? And she said, it's an evolution for humanity. The planet will always be fine. It will always recreate itself. It will always be fine. Elevate and, to the new state, the new level soul, humanity. And of course, as a human at the time, I was like, wow, okay. Because this is, as the dragons come through, we have to sort of learn how to operate with them, listening to them. And like we were saying before, when you're shown to do something, like Kevin was shown how to do the Dragon Summit, it's like, huh? You just go ahead and you do it. You just do it. And you have to trust 1000% when you start getting those messages through. So this is how we're working with the dragons. My son, he's just learnt to drive, and he's on a work experience, an internship in the Alps, and he's got this rickety old car. So I bought him a little dragon to go in the car, and he went, all right, okay, Mum, fine. And I said, no, but listen, there's like a little incantation I do when I'm driving. Dragons out in front of me, dragons to the rear of me, dragons to the right of me, and dragons to the left of me. Dragons overhead of me and dragons underneath me. Make this road safe and clear for me. And he told me when he arrived in the Alps, he took 2 days to get there, give his car a little break. He said, oh, Mum, I used that. And he said, I just felt so much safer. And a year ago, a girlfriend of mine were driving in the UK, and I was talking to her about the dragons, and she's Year of the Dragon as well, so we're fans of dragons. And she said, God, I just wish I could see a dragon. She said, I've never seen one. And she was driving down the M4, the motorway, we're going down to Cornwall. And she said, I've just seen a white dragon on the outside of the car. I said, awesome. Because what happens is when you speak to somebody who's already channeling dragons or already familiar with dragons, it opens up the concept of what is possible for you. And then you also say, I want that. So the things start happening. You already are looking into different spectrums of light. I call it, you're almost going like Wi-Fi. You're going into a broadband. You're going from 3D to 4D to 5D to 6D to 7D. And you know what Naomi did, we sort of like bringing in the galactic. So there's always so much more. At the base of all of this is how we feel and how we accept what's going on in our life. How much love can we feel? How much wealth can we feel? How much prosperity can we feel? And the reason I teach people to do with their business and how to bring that kind of energy in is because when we deal with life problems, earth issues, the dragons say, Fiona, that's just another earth issues. I'm like, oh, right, okay. I know how to deal with this on an energetic level. But when it's an earth issue, we get all screwed up when we get our pants in a wad. So when it's business, I love talking to entrepreneurs because they have been told so many different strategies about business and they get so screwed up in their head, myself included. I do admit, you know, this is all a learning curve. Your business will be the most spiritual thing that you ever do because you're overcoming one of the fundamental energies, which is money, which is your own prosperity, which is feeling your own self-worth, which is feeling your value. But a lot of it is a very similar energy to what love feels like. So we have to distinguish between love, loving ourselves, loving money, loving our clients. But most people kind of go, oh, okay, fine. And they're all in their head about it, but they've never actually felt it. So one of the things when I started to do this work, because I've been on a quest for love, because most of us have felt we've never really received as much love as we could have received. We're always still searching for more love outside of us, whereas when we realize that that love is coming from the inside of us, that we are already love. So when you are connected with your soul, your sovereign, when you're connected with that and you know who and what you are, you will know that you are already love and you will know that you are already wealth. And even Fiona would kind of go, well, yeah, that's fine, but how does that get me money? Or that's fine, but how does that bring me love? So we're always arguing with what we already are. But if you experience it, it is a different level of understanding then how you can manifest the life around you. You know that if you're in a good mood, better things happen. You know that if you're in a bad mood and you're complaining, that's what you're going to attract. That's what's going to come in. So the shift to being the new human is not allowing yourself to get into the down and the dirty and the complaining and the lower vibrations. If you are sabotaging, self-sabotage, which humans all do because your ego comes in and just goes, oh, that's not possible. You're talking nonsense. All this stuff is just all nonsense. This is rubbish. If you are just then seeing, oh, right, okay, so that's just the scared part of me not wanting to have what it is that I really, really, really desire and what I believe is true. And it is just the old part of you from your reptile brain coming in and trying to screw things up for you, trying to keep you where you are. So one of the things that Serafina wants to do with you today is invite you to step out of your mind and the fact that we've been manifesting from the old modality of thoughts become things. Now, dragons don't read your thoughts. Dragons read your language of your energy. They read your frequency. They will see you like a light bulb coming on when you are in what I call the conduit. If you can think like a tree is conduit energy, its branches go up to the heavens and its roots go down into the earth. It is a conduit of energy. And the same as us, we're a battery, we're a conduit of energy. Imagine that you are linked into using light language, using what you can feel, talking out loud, invoking in, calling in the dragons. For example, I'm only open for love. I'm only open for communication. I'm only open for guidance. I'm only open to operating in frequency. I don't know how to do this. Please show me how. And then just watch Watch what comes into your focus. Watch what comes into your reality, what comes under the radar of where you're operating. And you will start to see that you are, like Kevin came up in front of me to do with the Dragon Summit. I had no idea that that existed 3 years ago. I had no idea what the dragons wanted me to do and how to put myself out there, but these things come in. So when I wanted to get an artist for my dragon cards, it had taken a while, and I was looking all over the place at people who were drawing dragons. It was before AI, before you could do, you know, all these wonderful ways of drawing dragons right now. Yeah, I know. And I was looking and I was saying, I don't know how to do this, but is it, you know, I would bring out, you know, in a ball, is it this particular artist? He was an amazing artist for, can't remember the trilogy of the books. And I looked at him and I went, God, he's really expensive. I can't afford that. I'm just starting off on this journey. And they went, no, it's not him. I went, oh, right, okay. Is it this artist? And I just got, no, it's not him. I'm like, I was getting really impatient because I wanted these cards to move and to sort of be shared with other people. And then I was like, well, is there someone else then? And I just got, yeah, there's someone else. I'm like, oh. And I had an idea that I wanted to work with somebody young, around 19, a digital artist, someone that I could grow with, and, you know, him to help me, you know, portray how I saw the dragons, how the dragons wanted to be seen. They were very much part of it. And I was like, in frustration, I said, well, I don't know how to do this. Please show me how. And I just got this feeling, again, feeling within your body, like train tracks, which told me in their frequency language, just keep looking straight ahead. But Fiona was frustrated, but she was like, okay, I'll be patient. I will just keep looking straight ahead then. But I was still looking at other artists and I was still researching, and they just said, no, stop it. By the end of that day, something popped up on my Facebook feed. And this is how they work. And if you're looking for something, music on YouTube, or if you're looking for someone to listen to sort of bring you to a higher state, illuminate you, the first thing that comes up, the first page that you look at in a book, this is the message for you. This is how they can communicate with you. So something popped up in my Facebook, and it was a picture that somebody looked like they'd hand drawn. I went, wow, that's amazing. Look at the way he's got the eyes on that goat and the children. Oh, eyes, interesting, because I see eyes of these dragons first. So I asked, I said, is this the artist you want me to use? And I just got my yes signal, my yes from my body. And I kind of opened up and I felt excited. And I said, oh, right, okay. So I contacted him that evening. One of the things on my list about manifesting, I hadn't put in that he was speaking English. He spoke French. So I had to do all of my translating about how I wanted to see the dragons, what colours, what textures, what moods. And he didn't realise at the time that I had 64 cards that I wanted to be demonstrated as how the dragons wanted them to be demonstrated. So I was translating from the dragon, I was translating it into French, and then I was translating what he said back into English. But you know, your invisible beings, your dragons, they will communicate with you any way they can. Through physical symptoms. If you are looking to up level, elevate to your new level soul, you may have physical symptoms. Now, a lot of people may be calling these ascension symptoms. Okay, but physical symptoms. Physical symptoms, if you go into the feeling of it and you describe what it is, you will start being able to understand what the message is that you are to release from yourself physically. And when you do, things start changing. So again, your car, your house, everything is conscious and therefore able to communicate with you. If you have a flat tire, if you have someone bash into your car, if your boiler breaks in your house, if your plumbing breaks, you will see certain things. Like the plumbing broke for me, and I didn't see it as a warning that my relationship was coming to an end. It was blocked. You have to understand that you are getting symptoms all all the time. Years ago, with another relationship that it was coming through, they're telling me to tell you this story and I'm embarrassed. I had ringworm and I had a welt on my arm, a welt on my leg. I had another welt on my elbow, and I'm like, I was so embarrassed that I had this. And people are saying, but you walk in the woods all the time, there's horses, I'm sure that's where you caught it. And I decided after about a couple of weeks, it's like, okay, what is this all about? What is this all about? And I went, how does it feel? It's itchy, it's irritating. Oh, it's under my skin. What is this? And I blamed at the time an ex-partner. He's under my skin. I was like, hang on a second. I'm under my own skin. It's me that I'm angry at. It's me that's stopping the flow. And with that, the ringworm disappeared. It was an energetic communication. And this is what's happened with me with sciatica. Oh, so many different things that go on in my body, aches and pains and all those kind of things. And when I was walking on the Santiago de Compostela the last 2 years, and my hips were aching, I could hardly move. And I was like, okay, what's going on in my head? What am I saying? What am I needing to get released? So this is the way the communication comes through. The communication as you're listening to this, or as you're listening to anyone else that's talking about dragons today, don't fight it. It will be something that's going to happen within your body. This is not for your mind. This is for your body. This is for your cells. This is for your heart. And the unfathomable beauty that you are as a soul. You are communicating with your soul, your sovereign. You're lifting up yourself to the next level soul. You're elevating yourself. So if you feel resistance, if it makes you want to leave or move around or jitter or something like that, don't fight it. But just understand that there's something moving within you. Your soul is so desperate for you to contact, to communicate, to listen, and to be part of this whole experience. So the dragons are here asking you to start manifesting things in your life in a different way. How can you feel satisfied? And it's a feeling. How can you feel more love? How can you feel more abundant in that frequency? There is so much at the base of the frequency of love, which is 528 hertz at the moment. And there's so much above that. What is love and above, as far as these dragons are concerned, are really going to help you move into the frequency so that you can start operating from the frequency of what it is that you want to manifest. And the dragons are saying to me right now, please mention that it's not all about manifesting more money to pay your bills. They just go, that's so boring. You can do so much more than that. You can do better than that. It's not about getting over a footache or getting over not having money for your bills or getting over a broken relationship. There is so much more that we can be creating and co-creating with our soul and with the dragons. So if you're ready for this and if you're looking for an opportunity, open your heart so that you can start to experience and invite yourself in to experience more love, because that is at the basis of everything, because that opens your heart. When I'm speaking to my clients, it's often I'm told to do this with my hands. It's like, just stretch things open a little bit more. And I used to see that I had doors in front of my heart. So when I was hurt, I would have doors that closed in front of my heart. And of course, then that changed all the communication that I was doing. So now, if you're communicating, it's soul to soul. You are communicating from your soul to another person's soul. And therefore, any negotiations that you've got going, if you're going to the bank, if you're asking for a loan, I went to the garage and my old car was very, very old. And my ex-partner said to me, there's no way that this car is going to pass. In England, we call it the MOT, and here it's the control technique. In every country, we have to do these controls on our car. Anyway, so we went away for half an hour, came back, it had passed. And my partner said to me, did you do something? I went, Well, not obviously, but yeah, obviously. I just imagined that it was done, and I felt myself driving away in a car that was completely arranged for the road, and it was still safe. And again, I haven't done this for selling houses. My favourite story, and if you've listened to me before, you'll know this story. I was living in France, and I needed to sell the house that I arrived and I created in France, but it was time to move on. For 2 years, this house had been with an agent putting it out there, letting people look around the house, but they had no heart and soul with it. They weren't connected to the house. And the house, I was in communication with. I said, what is it that you want me to do? Oh, take the carpet off the stairs, paint the shutters, leave me prettier than you found me. I went, yeah, you're absolutely right. So I did all those things, and I said, well, now what? Now what do I need to do? And I was imagining someone else moving into the house who absolutely loved the house as much as I did, who would take care of the house and who would take care of the garden and have it as a cherished place. This is where I grew my kids from 0 to 7, so the formative years. And even the children were saying, goodbye house, we love you, we've had such a lovely time here. They were sad to leave, but they didn't know that something new and even better was coming. So one day when I was in the garden, I had this image come into my head, those images that you have to follow. The image was of a white sign with AV, which is à vendre in French for sale, and my mobile telephone number. And I was like, huh? And they showed me that I put it outside the front gate. And I argued, as a human, but nobody drives up this road. How on earth is anybody going to see this sign? If I spend all afternoon painting a piece of wood, doing my girly nailing, hammering it into the ground, nobody's going to see it. And I just got silence. So in other words, get on with it, just do it. Because my dragons and everyone's dragons, Serafina especially, are very forthright, very cheeky, very down to earth, and no nonsense. So I did it. I made the sign. I hammered it into the ground and I left it there. And I carried on going around my chores for the house. And also they said, sack the agent. Sack the 2 agents that you've got. And I was like, oh, really? So I sacked the agents. And the next day I had a telephone call on my mobile that said, we're interested in coming and look at your house. I was like, really? Awesome. Okay, when? Well, we're outside the gate right now. And I'm like, oh, give me 5 minutes. I just need to pick up the boys' socks and tidy their rooms a little bit. They said, oh, we don't care. So they came in, they walked around the house, and I left them to walk around the house twice. I made a cup of tea. They bought the house like that. When you listen to what is coming through your body, when you're open for guidance, when you're open to love, when you're open to communication, this is what can happen. Remember, this is not for your mind. Your mind, like mine, will argue. Nobody drives up this road. Why have I got ringworm? So you have to understand that this is not for your mind. So I've been studying and learning with the dragons their ways of manifesting. But the main thing that they wanted to do with you today was to help you to drop away from your head and enter into your heart space. So if you're ready, I want to just take you on a little trip that the dragons want you to experience, a different experience of expanding the love within you. All right. So if you would take a deep breath, close your eyes, and I'm going to guide you with, imagine there's a circle, there's a spiral going around your body until it's like a big circle all the way outside of your body into your aura. And then at one moment, this loops up through the clouds, into the heavens, into the galaxies, and it links on, it holds on to something, it's tethered, and you are tethered with it up into the heavens. And keep breathing. And then as you breathe out, bring all that lovely, lovely golden energy down through this harp string, this cord, and loop that again around your body, from inside your body, outside your body, out into the aura around you, and then let it loop down through your feet, through the surface of the earth, down into the core of the earth, and then find you go through waterways, rock stratas, and down into the center of the earth. However you see that. It could be an underworld with totem animals. It could be great big crystals down there. Just loop and tether yourself onto that, and then watch the silver energy thread come up through your body, loop and spiral around your body again with your breath, and then up into the heavens. Up, up, up into the universe, into source. Now you are tethered and you are in connection and in communication with source. You're connected with your soul energy. And for this particular purpose, we are being invited to take a walk in the park because we're very, very practical. We're taking a walk in a park, and under a tree, in the shade of a tree, there is a pen. And there's a lady sitting outside this pen, and inside this pen are 7 gorgeous puppies. Now, if you're not a puppy person, you can make it kittens, because there's something that happens in your brain and in your body when it's an animal and not a human. There is a different connection. There's a different hormone that goes around your body that allows you to expand into that frequency. So you ask the lady if you can go down and you can sit on the earth and you can just be with these puppies because you want to experience this experience. And they all clamber toward you, come racing and charging towards you, and you're spending all your time picking them up. And you can feel their soft fur, and you can feel their puppy breath, and you can certainly feel their sharp teeth. And they're pulling on your clothes, and you're just relaxing into it. You've got nothing else in your mind at all apart from all these hundreds of little puppy feet and the weight of the puppies climbing over your body. This is a very physical, visceral experience. And they're pulling at your sleeves, and they're biting your fingers, and they're licking your toes. There's such an experience of this, and they're jumping and they're yapping and they're so excited. And then one by one, they seem to curl up and they're starting to fall asleep and get a little bit sleepy. One puppy in particular decides that it's going to lie on your lap and in your arms, and you can watch it breathing. Its belly is going up and down. And you can see its pads of its feet are all pink and beautifully perfect. And you can smell its breath and its little whimpering and its eyes shut and its ears flop over and its great big round belly and just the soft fur and the weight of it on your body. And allow yourself to feel the love of having this experience. Open up your heart. You're safe to open up your heart and have this as an experience. This is not for your mind, this is for your cells. That's why you can feel the warmth. It is for your heart, and it is for feeding the unfathomable beauty that you are as a soul. Connect in with this love, this innocence, this playfulness, and remember your own love and playfulness. Malaku ulikim era ha loro, mio umbile haik ala hau. Nahale umbole ka aro, mia ka au ka aile heira kao, nio bigera ha. Feel the frequency within your body as you experience something new. Maleo rombi ki ayo, mi aulo kumbu ika ha, ni auliam bahala oriam beke a. Nikembaile hora kaiki a-o. Be aware of the symptoms, the sensations, the feelings that go on inside the core of you, the frequency as it radiates on the inside of you. Remember, this is not for your head, this is for your body. If your mind wanders, come back to the puppy that lies in your arms and deepen in again. going through the textures, the sensations, the smells, the taste, the feeling of the weight, the warmth, the texture of the fur. Go in and experience the frequency. Malio Rumbika Aya. Remember what this feels like and ask for yourself to amplify that feeling. To amplify that feeling, maybe you have a vision of a horizon, a sunset. Maybe you have a feeling of walking in the forest. Keep this sensation with you and keep amplifying the amount of love and above that you can feel as you walk through your day. Your vessel is clear. It is a pure conduit, and it is getting better and better and better. Sometimes after a period of a detox, your communications are heightened and clearer. When you meditate, you are listening in silence for 30 minutes to up to an hour. When you're bathed in nature, in the forest, when you communicate with your soul as a matter of everyday practice, this becomes who you are at a higher frequency. If you want to feel more love in your life, start here. If you want to feel more abundance and worthy of abundance in your life, try this. Imagine yourself as a child going to a toy store. You're so excited. There are toys everywhere that call to you, and you want this one and you want that one, and you can imagine yourself playing with this toy and that toy, and you're so excited. You have nothing inside of you that thinks, what do I have to do to get that? You just are deserving. You are that deserving as a soul to have every single thing that your heart desires, to experience that in your body. As a young child, you knew that. As a young child, you just felt love. It wasn't until we became an adult that we decided to get so serious and keep concentrating on, I'm not worth it. I don't know how to do this. And that is why Serafina and the manifesting dragons are here. And they're always saying, just ask. Just say, I don't know how to do this. Please show me how. And be playful and just expect things to work out well for you. And be naughty and be cheeky and just playful. The dragons are extremely playful, and they're extremely sad that humanity has got so serious with how they live their lives. There is so much beyond survival. So much they want me to emphasize. There is so much more love for you. There's so much prosperity and fun and laughter. And that was what they want you to feel on the inside. If you can be playful when you want to manifest something. The art of manifesting with the dragons is a skill. It means that you have no doubt, no worry, because you're far too precious to be worried or struggling. It is a question of dipping into the frequency and keeping living and walking and breathing and playing in that frequency, not giving any time to your human doubt. The reason you self-sabotage is because it's just part of you that's got used to living in survival. If you want to transcend survival, you are having to use your feelings, feel your way forward. The dragons are saying this is a revolution of being able to feel. And if you want more of that, there's an opportunity to just amplify whatever you're feeling and just amplify it. One of the things I asked years ago was, I want to feel more love. And lo and behold, it just kept growing and growing and growing. So when you feel something, it is your barometer of your body. So you can come back at any time and you can feel, this is my body, this is how I feel right now. But then if you want to go into something, you can dip back in again to the conduit. You can dip back into love. You can dip back into what would be the best way to open that up for myself and be playful. And when the dragons come through and communicate with you, and they will keep doing it, and they will keep expanding, feel what it is that you want. Don't say it. And then you, like me, you'll get messages of, sack the agent, or Fiona, do business readings for this group of people. And I personally, Fiona, will argue and say, I don't do that. I don't know how. And the dragons will say, step out of the way. It's not you that does them. Manifesting with the dragons is a skill. It is a skill to tell a different story. Your inner world creates your outer world. And this is where they want to leave you today. And if you have any questions about manifesting or any questions for Serafina, then she's here to answer those. You're evolving into a new human. It's not how we've been doing things before. We're in a new era. We're evolving into a new soul, a new human. So let's play on that level. Thank you. I'm thrilled to be here. Thank you so much for taking part.
Thank you. Well, this is your chance, people, to ask some questions of Serafina and Fiona. So please do. Don't be shy. While you start typing those or putting your hands up, I'm just going to put all the beautiful links of Fiona so you can connect with her in the chat. There's lots of ways of connecting with her, and do buy those beautiful cards. I've got mine, they're just up there. It's looking at me. It's this big dragon eye.
These are the cards that came through when I had an interview with Serafina back in 2020. And those interviews were recorded, and then I transcribed those interviews, and then I was told that I had to make those cards into messages of how you can transcend, how you can follow your feelings, how you can change the story in your head, and when you start to manifest, in other words, how you cope with life is very, 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 very much better.
Anyone got a question? Oh, there's some coming through. Thank you, that was lovely. Beautiful.
Yes, don't be too serious. Lacking the joy. One of the cards, one of the messages is, what if you could just have a heart full of joy? How much easier would your life be? Because that's exactly more of what you would be attracting. And it's a struggle, isn't it? Sometimes we get so joyful and so high, and then the next day we crash and burn. But that's the point.
True. It's a roller coaster, though, isn't it?
Keep coming up.
At least when you're down, you know it's going up.
Yeah, you never crash and burn quite as low as you did before, because you're always coming up. You just crash and burn down to another level.
You catch yourself, don't you? You're like, oh no. Ooh.
Yeah, I know. If nobody has any questions, what does Serafina look like? Oh, okay. She's as big as an aeroplane. Oh, she's magnificent. She's very cheeky. She's like, don't tittle tattle. She's very direct, very straightforward. It's more of her energy. I mean, I do see her as a massive golden dragon. She's very old. She's very wise. And she is the matriarch, so she's mature in her ways. And she's not sensible, though, but she's so loving. And here's something for you, talking about love. If you want to know how much your soul loves you, how much you are loved, ask. And be inside, feel how you feel right now. And then ask, please show me how much you love me. And notice the change on the inside. If you want to amplify that, ask the dragons. And be careful, be warned. Please show me how much you love me. It is so much more than you can possibly imagine. I call them my cosmic parents. The parents you always wanted to have. The mentors you always wanted to have. Yes, Amazon does have my cards at the moment. I did sort it out, unless something else has happened. What I was told was I needed to go in and touch the energy of the cards again because my energy had shifted from when I first put them on there. Does that make sense? So just because you've got something, it doesn't mean that you put it out there and it's successful. It's like you have to keep touching in with it and you have to keep manipulating the energy around it so that you are a match. Any more questions?
This is your chance, people. Don't be shy.
Visualizing with the puppies. Yeah, it's what Serafina showed me as the easiest way to get out of your head, because you can feel the puppy's feet, you can smell the breath, you can feel the texture, you can feel. So you're going into your feelings. So you're not using your head. The idea is, as we move forward into this new human, we're not using our head or our analytical overthinking. Because what the dragons have shown me is they can't reach us when we're thinking, overthinking, analysing, rethinking, reverberating, complaining. They can't get in. It's like a brick wall. All right, well, if there aren't any questions then, I did pull a card for today. And this card is from Ceremony, and this is quite apt for what we're doing today. Experience the dragons with your father in hospital. Yes, they'll be flying around, and they will be looking after whoever is needed. So Ceremony, card number 50. Now, the dragons are inviting you to be a fully sensory, multi-dimensional being, a truly expansive world and magical realms. Should you ever feel uncertain about following your passion in this life, and if you are experiencing it fully, invite yourself to explore the expansive worlds and realms that exist in the playfulness of children. So far unhindered, still innocent with their imagination on supercharge, unaware of any restriction, any social limits, any boxes or rules of what you can and can't do or have, and what you have to socially adhere to, be politically correct. Where there are no made-up invisible boundaries restricting your growth, only pure imagination and joy. You are fully sensory beings. You breathe in feelings of colour. Your lives are lighter and joyful. You have no burdens. This is how the soul experiences your life. It is experiencing the breath of life, the flow of life. You know and you feel why and who you are to be here, what you came in to experience in every sensation that is possible, and you do it with simplicity, with playfulness and ease. It feels so light and glorious with your heart rejoicing. Humans have become so dense and heavy and stuck in the survival mode, in your words and frequency of serious, sensible, stuck, stable, and just surviving. Even children are asked to be serious these days, to grow up and stop pretending. This requires a level of attention to what you already feel. Just know what you already feel and keep expanding into it. I want to feel this. I'd like to feel this as an experience. I'd like to feel that as an experience. And just keep going with it. So it's a practice of expanding and being more playful. How can the dragons help with healing the body? Interesting. Very, very interesting. I'll do this in the last few minutes. How you talk about your body, how you talk to your body, carries energy, carries frequency. Now, I used to deal with a lot of women to do with detoxing, and it became weight loss. Although I didn't particularly like the subject, it works for that too. So I had one lady who came to me, and she's had a wedding to go to in 3 months' time, and she wanted to lose half her body weight. So I'm just using that as an example of health, but this applies. And I listened to what she was saying. I listened to how that felt in my body, because I can feel when somebody tells a story, I feel it on the inside of me like a body whisperer. I feel where it lands. So I was showing her what her story and how that was landing on her body. So we created a very clear image. Think about the story I've just done about the puppies. We created a very clear image of her wearing the dress that she wanted to wear, and feeling it, all the textures, so she could feel the lining of the dress, gap between the lining and her skin, how it was when she walked, when she sat down, when she walked across the dance floor. And we started her visualizing and telling stories and feeling her health, feeling at her optimum health, feeling that she was vibrant, feeling that every single cell was full of love and light. She walked lighter on the earth. The people that really were starting to, have a huge effect on her, which made her run to the fridge to eat, stopped bothering her. She became so phenomenally strong on the inside because of what she felt and what she saw and who she was, that the outside world didn't affect her nearly so much. And she had to buy a dress. And she said, I'm going to buy it in this size. And I said, no, just hang on a second. I have true faith. Buy it in 2 sizes smaller. And she wore the dress 2 sizes smaller because she was losing weight rapidly, because she was aligned and on board with how she felt about her body. You can look younger, you can feel younger, you can be more agile, you can have better skin, you can, just so much about your health comes down to not what you eat and not just about how you move, but how you visualize. Have you heard the story of, I think it was an osteopath who said that if you have a broken wrist or an arm, but you carry on doing the exercises in your imagination, it is so much more powerful than just physically doing them. Because in your imagination, your mind doesn't believe it's true. You're giving such a strong image to your body that you are carrying on doing that particular exercise. And you can do this with your health. You do this with your finances. I do this all the time with my clients. You do this with your love life. If you keep complaining about your love life or telling a story like I was about my ex, things will come back. The only person it hurts is you. So tell a different story. I hope that answers your question about health. There is nothing that you can't create from your thoughts and from your feelings. Your imagination is the powerful tool that was given to humans to enable you to do that. And that's what Serafina is saying to me right now. You have to know how powerful you are when you're connected to your soul and you're using your imagination.
That's beautiful. I think you've got 3 minutes. There is one other from Claudia. She says, how can you get out of one's head and more into feeling?
Sorry, Kevin, I didn't hear that.
She says, how can you get out of one's head
Ah,
and more into feeling?
I say, okay, we're talking to Tara. Tara is about flipping your frequency because she changes between green and blue. First of all, you have to know how you feel. See how you feel in your neutral state. Okay, this would be you in your sweet spot, in your love state, connected to the puppy. Could be an ideal way for you to start that. And then on the one end of the scale, everything's going tits up. Everything's going wrong. Everything's breaking. Everything's going, nothing's working. Can you feel the frequency of that? You'll know it. You'll feel it in your body. You have the choice where you want to be. Always have a very clear outcome, a story, and how that is in your frequency of where you'd rather be living, how you'd rather experience that. And the dragons are saying to me now, Fiona, tell them, it's practice, it's practice, it's practice, because your mind is always going to be coming back in there going, but I don't know how to do it. Can I do this? I don't know. I doubt, So that's how, because of adults, that's how we've been educated to be doubtful. So we are being asked at the leading edge now as a movement of men and women across the globe to start doing things differently. So that's a brilliant, brilliant, brilliant question. But it takes practice. I'm practicing all the time. I'm telling different stories about people that they're setting something off in me. But when they set something off in me, I'm like, okay, I'm holding that. So I don't want to hold that energy within me anymore, because eventually it will cause a physical reaction on my body. How do I get out of it? I have to keep remembering, bringing joy into the heart, bringing love into the heart, feeling full. Your cells are full of love and light. You get to choose that. So movement, know what it is in your life. Is it music? Is it movement? Is it who are you around? Is it being with your dogs, your animals? What is it that makes you feel better?
Beautiful.
Hopefully that answers the question very briefly.
I think you did.
Thank you for journeying with us today on the English Mystic Podcast, Dragon Thunder Summit 2025 edition. This is just one voice, one frequency in a greater dragon symphony, each echoing across the earth right now. If you felt the stir in your heart, if you heard a whisper from your dragon allies, then the work is beginning. Be sure to explore all 36 epic speakers and their transmissions by heading over to the website www.dragonthunder2025.com, where the portal is open. Until next time, walk boldly with your dragons, speak your truth like fire, and may your path be guided by the ancient winds. Stay mystical, stay wild, stay dragon aligned. This is the English Mystic. See you next time.
In the realm where spirits dance, where dragons soar with fiery glance, a song of power, strength untold, for human hearts, for young and old. Wings that span the starry night, scales that gleam with ancient light. Dragons rise, guardians bold, tales of healing, tales untold. Almighty ones, wise and grand, protectors of this sacred land. With breath of fire, a timeless art, they heal and mend each wounded heart. Through shadows deep and forests wide, they guide us with a noble stride. In the dance of life, a sacred chance to heed the call of dragon trance. Scale by scale, a shield they weave. In the moonlit night, their magic breathe. Whispers of protection, strong and true. In the realm where dreams come through. So gather round, O kin of earth. Let the dragon's melody give birth to healing streams and fiery light, as we journey through the shaman's night. O dragons, ancient and divine, your friendship like the stars will shine. In the tapestry of life, a song we weave with spirits, dragons, hearts believe.